And we're back here on the show, and we are very happy to have Joe Bartok joining us in the studio.
And this is the Deal Inc. And he's here. Here he is.
And there's Joe right there.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi. How are you guys?
Good. We're talking about you. And can you tell everybody, Joe, where you come from?
Where I come, like born and raised, that sort of thing.
That's a great topic. We can
Yes.
talk all day about
Yes.
where Joe was born and raised.
I'm from the same city as Hugh, which is Welland, Ontario, down in the Niagara region. It's like 10 minutes from Niagara Falls. But I've lived here in Toronto for 21 years now. So I kind of knew, doing music business accounting, it's not really something I could stay in Welland and do. It's better, obviously, to be here in Toronto.
You know what they say? You can take the boy out of Welland, but you can't take Welland out of the boy.
That's right.
Yeah. I got that from a friend who was a judge, lawyer in Welland, to his dad, my friend's dad in Welland. Yeah. But he was from Hagersville.
Okay.
So he used to say that about Hagersville.
Yeah. Yeah. Another great small town.
Yes. Well, this is the Deal Inc. How did you come up with that name?
Okay, great question. Because we do accounting and taxes and bookkeeping and all the regular general, accounting services that an accounting firm would offer. However, the name This is the Deal Inc. doesn't tell you that at all.
No.
When I thought of the name, I was working at Universal Music and I was in finance there for about 4 years. Part of my job there was to do the reporting to the independent labels that had distribution deals with Universal Music. So a big part of my job was taking a contract, in this case for a distribution deal, and reading through the contract and trying to slice through all the legal, jargon and build an actual financial model or an Excel. I usually did them in Excel, where you could plug in the numbers and you would plug in what the sales were. And then, I would build it to automate all the formulas. So, Universal's distribution fee would get subtracted. And, if there's chargebacks, like things that Universal maybe covered on behalf of the independent labels, those would get charged back, et cetera. So the name This is the Deal was more this take on the idea that, if you're given a contract and it says, the distributor gets this percent or the label gets this, or even if you break it down to a deal between a label and an artist, or it could be a producer, like if we hire a producer to produce an album or certain songs and there's, they get a cut of some kind. So the idea that we have to read a contract and figure out what the calculations need to be, that's where I came up with This is the Deal, because my job at that time was to come up with an Excel model that reflects the terms. Yeah, the terms of the deal. So if in that context, it's a great name and it makes perfect sense. Yeah. But then once I thought of the name and really started to branch out, and then I left Universal and started doing this full time, we very quickly started doing taxes and bookkeeping and incorporating, when it's time for the artist to incorporate and they've got enough stuff going on. So we started doing all of those other general accounting firm services. And I mean, we still do a lot of stuff under that This is the Deal idea, where we're building, like royalty models or distribution, like just any of the models that have to figure out what the numbers are and who gets paid what, what amounts. So we still do a lot of that work, but yeah, This is the Deal Inc. doesn't really say we do taxes and bookkeeping, but that's a hell of a lot of what we do. And just mention on a side note, we do have a second sort of accounting brand or firm name that's called Relax Accounting and Tax. So we do have another accounting firm that says accounting and tax in the name of the firm. Wow. But so This is the Deal, is our firm that specializes in entertainment accounting and business management, as they call it. And then we've got Relax Accounting and Tax, but it's all the same office, same staff.
Well, what's great is that you're also a musician, Joe.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
In fact, we get to play together every once in a while. And
yes, we do.
It's fun, and it's great to have everything under one roof. And I'm just curious, since we both grew up in the same town.
Yep.
Like, when did you start playing the drums, or was that your first instrument?
Yeah, first instrument. And I play percussion as well. So I just hit things with my hands or with sticks. I wish I could play a beautiful chord on a guitar or on a piano, but I can't, or at least not yet anyways. I started playing when I was 10 years old. And I don't know, for any Wellanders out there in TV land, if you recognize the name Joe DeLeo. I've never actually asked you. Okay, he was my first drum teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the way I got into playing drums was my uncle Rob, my mother's youngest brother. He played drums, and he left and went traveling in Europe to Europe when he was like 19 years old. And his drum kit was in the basement of our grandparents' house. So whenever my sister and I were at our grandparents' house, I would just go downstairs and just bang away on the drums, really not knowing what I was doing, and then around age 10, my grandmother came downstairs while I was playing the drums, or not playing, whatever I was doing. And she just said, she's like, "Do you want to take lessons and I'll pay for them?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So that was it. So we found Joe DeLeo. I'm not even sure how I found him, to be honest, because there was no internet back then. You couldn't.
Well, to me, if you went to Central Music in Welland at all, you would run into Joe DeLeo or something. Yeah,
it was probably through Central. Yeah, because I used to go in there and like play on the drum machines and stuff in my spare time.
Was that like? I mean, was it? Do you think you would have been attracted to the drums even if you didn't have a drum kit in your grandparents' basement? Do you think?
That's a great question. That's kind of scary to think about, because I think the answer is no. I probably never would have had a reason to start playing them. And if my uncle's drums were not in our grandparents' basement, who knows? Maybe
the drummers, either it's in you or you either have it or you don't have it, right?
Well,
or you could be.
I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Do you think that's true?
I think that music, just when it comes to musical talent in general, I think what DBoss said is true, that there's a certain amount that is just sort of innate, I guess. It's just in you, and there's going to be a certain sort of level, say of talent or just a natural whatever, but then it's what you do with that, through training and mentorship, and if you do have other musicians to learn from, or you take lessons from pros and all that stuff, and then really develop your skill.
Because the drummer is the people that's the key of the band. You're the one that 1, 2, 3, woof, and everybody then comes in. So you got a lot of power.
Yeah.
And usually the drummers are considered, they're very arrogant, and they're very, because you guys know that without. No, but I'm just saying it's true though. Like they're the ones that always have. They know they start things so they can just come and kind of relax in and stuff. He was looking at me because but it's true. That's what they say about because they can't start the music without you.
I guess the common sort of understanding is the drummer, or I ever say percussion, they're there to sort of keep it all locked in time, with a good meter, and but it always helps, of course, to have a say with with most pop rock styles, what they refer to as the rhythm section, which is usually the bass player and the drummer. When that unit is tight and locked in, the rest of the instruments and vocals can sort of sit on top of that. And
then he does, and you see, this is what makes Joe do good what he does, because Joe, he's an accountant, crushing all those numbers.
Yes.
Then he's a drummer that
crushing more numbers. Yeah.
That's taking all the stress out.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's definitely
it's very
balance.
Stressful job to do an accounting, and then plus you understand the whole theory of them. The musicians and the music people coming, right?
You know what it's like to be a musician. You can feel where they're at. I think that's really important.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely. Yeah. Thank you for that. I think when we meet potential new clients and who are musicians, you can't just go to any old accounting firm like ABC Accounting on Main Street over there, and they're not going to know what we know, publishing deals, distribution deals, all of the different deals, copyright, mechanicals, like all of the different royalties. There's there's a million different kinds of royalties, and they're calculated in not a million, but there's many different types of royalties calculated in different ways. There's all the like when you've got a catalog of music, you will want, especially if things are happening and you're getting maybe some airplay or even YouTube, views, or Spotify, all of these things. You want to make sure your catalog is registered. So there's that whole part of it too. So musicians can't just go to a regular Joe Blow accounting, no, not me, Joe Blow, but they can't go to a regular accounting firm that does not specialize in entertainment, because that accounting firm doesn't get it. Right. And I think musicians get a good sense of comfort once they talk to us. And once I tell them I'm a drummer, I'm a SOCAN member, I do a bit of writing, recording.
So you do tell people that then when they come, or they are not at first.
Yeah, it usually comes out within the first hour of conversation. Like if someone comes to us and they've got like a serious tax problem. I mean, usually we're lucky that a lot of our clients, most of our clients, have been word of mouth. So if someone is coming to us, it's because they've already heard that we specialize in music and entertainment. So they kind of know beforehand that we are experts at it. But then when we sit and talk, they might not know that I'm a drummer and that I do all this other musical stuff. But certainly once I tell them that, then I think, it's
comfortable more with you, right?
Yeah. They know that we know, how to do or how to handle all of the wonky accounting and tax things that come with the music business.
Well, I mean, just you talk about all the experience you had at Universal Music as well.
Yeah.
That must have given you so much knowledge and experience that you probably didn't anticipate that you were going to.
That's true. Yeah, no, it's, right? Isn't life wild? At the time, before working at Universal Music, I was a network financial analyst at Bell Mobility. Excuse me a sec. Sorry. Yeah, it's pretty boring. Okay. No offense to Bell Mobility, but yeah, just I knew at one point, I'm like, I have to be working in the music business. At the time I was working with Bell, the only thing I was doing musically was playing in my old band called the Smoothies down in St. Catharines at the Mansion House every Saturday, and I was the percussion player in that band. So that's what I was doing musically, and I just got to a point where I was like, I need to be working every day in the music business, and playing covers on Friday nights in St. Catharines didn't quite cut it. So after I got in at Universal Music, yes, starting to learn all the different things about music business accounting, royalties, all the distribution deals, publishing deals, all these things. And that kind of set the stage for what we have now. So yeah, another weird thing. If I never got in at Universal, would I have come down this path? I don't know.
Well, plus you mentioned it's not just accounting, because you do artist management, or do you want to just talk about that aspect of the business as well?
Sure. Yeah. Well, okay. Because the accounting and the numbers and the tax concerns are so different and wonky with the music business. What we're finding is that once artists understand that we understand that part of it, and that part of it is so crucial, especially when you're starting to make money, or if you're only making a little bit of money, or if you're making a lot of money, hopefully, it's so crucial to understand that money part of it, money and taxes and royalties and all your statements that you get and all this fun stuff. What we find is some artists come to us and want our help to manage their overall careers. So not just the, what we call the business management, which is just a fancy term for accounting and tax stuff. They also seek our help with regular day-to-day artist management functions. So we help out with other parts as well. So
do you find that some of the artists, when they come, they don't really take their income and stuff seriously, right? Like they kind of just, I make it at this gig, I'm going to spend it all, or
yes,
I'm spending
depends.
It all tomorrow.
Yeah, great question. Our artists, or say our client roster, as I call it. It sounds like we're a record label, but we're an accounting firm. But
it's good.
Our client roster, we definitely have people who are they're more, they're sort of on the ball and they like to keep track of things, and they, you know, a certain handful won't go and spend the money they made, but there's a lot that are like that. You know, they're getting by. They're not making a ton of money, but you know, they're able to pay their bills or pay some of their bills. But yeah, we find that there's sort of a cross section, you know, of people who kind of take the money and run versus those who put it into savings, and you know, they might start an RSP or have a TFSA or something like that. But
well, I guess that would be part of the benefit of for an artist, right? That maybe he's not really thinking in terms of planning for the future or managing their career on
planning,
the financial side of it, right? You guys can actually come in there and help somebody who maybe, you know, not really thinking about that, but they put them on the right path.
Yep, that's definitely part of our job too, especially when we are in the, you know, sort of fully immersed in the business management function. Just side note really quick about this term, business management. When we oversee everything to do with the artist's finances, that's when we, you know, sort of we refer to that whole function as business management. So in that case, we're looking out for everything. So helping the artist with saving some money, investing the extra money if there is anything left over. However, you know, a lot of our clients, we might only see them once a year at tax time, you know, when it's time to do their taxes, and they, you know, they don't sort of keep us on, you know, on a regular ongoing basis. So it depends. There's varying levels to how involved we are.
So we only got a couple minutes left. You got a question there, DBoss?
Yes, I do. It's on my shoulder.
Just trying to help you.
Yeah.
Help me do.
Don't touch her.
Help me move to the thing. I want to. Are you affordable, or do people are you affordable rates, or do you go against people's budgets?
We've traditionally been lower than most, you know, sort of typical accounting firms for those regular, you know, like taxes and bookkeeping and all those very general accounting services. We're a little bit lower than market rate, I think, for most of those. In the beginning, we were super low, but I realized, you know, after getting office space and hiring staff and whatever, your rates have to come up. You know, it was different when it was me by myself out of my condo, you know, with no staff, no office. But yeah, they have increased over the years. If we get into the business management function, the typical model for that is the business manager would take 5% of the artist's gross revenues. But again, that's the business management function, which is where we're fully immersed in the artist's, you know, finances, accounting, taxes.
And where can people find you?
Yeah, less than a minute left, Joe. Where do people? What should they do? Somebody's watching this.
Please log on to www.titdinc.com. So TITD for This Is the Deal and Inc. So TITDINC.com. Yeah, check us out there, or we're here at the corner of Bay and Dundas in beautiful downtown Toronto.
We'll put it out there where he's at.
We'll put it out there right now. And then musically, Joe, with about 20 seconds left, what are you up to musically?
What am I up to? Quite a few things, which is great. We've got a Friday night house jam that we do here in our lovely artist space that we have here at Yonge and Dundas. I'm also in a tribute band to The Jam. There's a few other things.
Awesome. Okay, anyway, great. Thanks for doing this today, Joe.
Thank you both.
Yes,
awesome.
We're going to keep in touch with Joe, and I'm going to post all the information where you can find Joe if you're an artist and you need him. You do need him.
And show up on a Friday, maybe we'll see Joe play.
Wild.
Okay, thanks everybody
for tuning in today.
We'll see you all tomorrow at noon.
Yes.